presents a new upcoming class. Stay tuned. Sacred Bonds by Daryl Abdullah Kirk. Yes, Sacred Bonds, navigating the depths of Muslim matrimony and the family. You don't want to miss this one. Please stay tuned. Streaming on all major platforms right here on Sunnahfollowers.net.
Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about jealousy. A lot of the people ask me about jealousy when it comes to polygamy. Even if you're not in a polygamous relationship. You know, we talked about the other day how Allah created women and men. Women are jealous by nature anyway. I'm a jealous woman. I get jealous if my cats show too much attention to somebody instead of me. Jealousy is part of being human. So how does it relate in a polygamous dynamic? That's what we're going to talk about today. Well, again, you often hear, you will hear a man tell his wife, stop being so jealous. You're too jealous. I'm tired of your jealousy. And this is not just in polygamous situations, just if you only got one wife, because that's the nature of a woman. Allah created women and men differently. Men are stronger than women physically. And men are stronger than women emotionally. That's a fact. Our prophets told us that. That's just the way Allah created us. Whereas women, we're able to control our desires of the low end better than a man. A woman can control her lust better than a man, but men can control their other emotions better than we can. So, you know, when a man marries any woman, even if it's just one wife, it's her nature to be jealous. But the man needs to understand that. And he needs to be able to deal with it with wisdom. You want to be able to deal with a woman's jealousy with wisdom. And now that's just one woman. Imagine having 3 or 4 women. Each woman's jealousy has to be dealt with wisdom. In fact, the law commands us in the Quran, in Surah Nisa, men are reminded by Allah to treat their wives with kindness. Allah tells you in Surah Nisa to treat each of your wives with understanding and honor their emotions. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our example. He did not dismiss or belittle his wives' jealousy. All his wives were jealous. Before he married Salama, when he asked her to marry him, that's one of the reasons she refused at first. She told him, I am an extremely jealous woman. She said, I am extremely jealous. And the prophet said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll make dua, asking Allah to take it away. And so that's the only reason why out of all the wives that the Prophet Muhammad had, Salama wasn't as jealous as the others, because the Prophet made dua asking Allah to remove her jealousy. But we all know that Aisha radiallahu anha was extremely jealous. Also, we hear about Hafsa's jealousy. Also, we hear about the jealousy of Zainab. So, you know, our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the example of how not just to pray, but how to be a husband in a marriage. How to be a husband if you have multiple families. Each one of his wives was treated with respect. Each one of his wives was treated with dignity. And he addressed each one of their jealousies one-on-one with wisdom. And on the other hand, we women, whether you're in a polygamous marriage or not, We women need to be more aware of our jealousy and try to control it better. Okay, I work on my jealousy every day. Okay, you should work on yours every day, because it's all about developing that control to the point where you can earn the love and favor of Allah. Okay, so jealousy can be handled in any relationship, whether it's monogamous or polygamous, as long as you deal with it head on and deal with it under the guidance of Islam, of what Allah says and how the Prophet said to deal with it. One thing that stands out with me, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, "O Prophet of Allah, if you look at yourself and see that you have some bad character, what can we do to get rid of it?" The Prophet said, first of all, make dua, asking Allah to take that bad characteristic away. He said, secondly, surround yourself around people who don't have that characteristic. So if I'm a woman trying to deal with my jealousy, I'm going to make dua every day, asking Allah to give me control over it. And I'm going to surround myself with other women who are in my predicament, who are not jealous. And then the Prophet said the third thing you can do to get over a bad characteristic is to pretend. Pretend that you don't have it. After pretending that you don't have it, it'll eventually not exist. So I encourage the women out there, it's what I do. I pretend a lot. I make dua every day, asking Allah to help me with my jealousy, if I'm using it as an example. And then I'll pretend to not be jealous. I'll pretend to not be jealous, so that way it'll eventually go away. Okay, so I encourage all Muslims to take advantage of the recommendation of our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And just to show how, it's human and normal for a wife to be jealous, let's look at Aisha, radiyallahu anha. Aisha tells us that she was a very jealous person. She said, but I was never more jealous of any woman as I was Khadijah, who was the first wife of the Prophet, even though she said, I never met her. I never knew her. Okay? She said, but he used to mention her all the time. If ever somebody gave him a lamb as a gift, or if ever he slaughtered an animal, he would give part of it to her family and to her friends. She said, I was extremely jealous of this. Extremely jealous of this. Okay? She said, so here we can see that Aisha, who was his favorite wife after Khadijah, even she experienced jealousy. Okay, so for a man to think that a woman should not be jealous, you're asking us to change the nature of ourselves. What you should do as a man is what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Whenever he saw Aisha or any of his wives experiencing jealousy, he would comfort them. He would renew his love for them. He would let them know that they were special, that they were loved, and that they were the world to him, that there was something about them that no other woman had. For example, Aisha was extremely intelligent and also a virgin. Hafsa was the only wife that could read. How many of you knew that? Out of all the Prophet's wives, none of them knew how to read or write but Hafsa. The Prophet made her feel loved and special because of that. She'd sit there and read the Quran to him. He'd give her the words of the revelations and she'd write them down and read them to him. He made her feel special and unique because of that. Salama, she was a warrior like her cousin Khalid bin Walid. She was a strategist. He would sit down with her and discuss his problems on the job with her because she had a way of looking and seeing the big picture and knowing the details as to how to get there. So he made her feel special for that. Zainab, she was his first cousin. Not only did she look like him, but they had a lot in common. They enjoyed the nicer things like honey. And he would sit with her and enjoy honey with her and let her know how special she was, because out of all my wives, you understand my likes more than they do because we share so much in common. Sophia, whenever he went to her, he let her know, you are unique. You are my world because you are the daughter of a prophet. Out of all my wives, you are the only one that is a descendant of a prophet, and you're special for that reason. Maria the Copt, she was not even his wife. She was his right-hand possession and the mother of his son Ibrahim. He made her feel special and loved and unique because out of all my wives, you are the one who is like Hajar. Everybody knew that Ibrahim was the Prophet Muhammad's hero, and his wife Hajar was a Copt. Maria was an Egyptian Copt. And he let her know that this is something unique that no other woman here has. So do you guys get it? This is how you keep a happy medium in regards to jealousy. If you're in a polygamous situation, each one of those wives should know that you love them. Each one of those wives should feel loved and cared for. Each one of those wives should feel unique in a way that none of the others are. That's how our prophet taught us. How many of you brothers do that? How many of you brothers that got 2, 3, 4 wives, when you go to visit them, I missed you. Oh, wow, you are so, you were a person of the dawah. Oh, I can come and talk to you about this and that and that. I'm just giving examples. You make your wives feel unique and special and loved. So again, and you do it without belittling anyone. You do it without mentioning the other wives too. I got to know that I'm special without you trying to verbally compare me to anyone. The prophet didn't compare Aisha to Hafsa to Salama, or none of that. They knew it. They felt it. We have an authentic hadith where somebody asked I can't remember which wife, they asked one of the wives, it's a Muwatta hadith. They asked one of the prophet's wives, everybody knew that Aisha was the favorite. Did that bother you? It was Salama. Salama said, no, we all knew that we were loved and cared for. We all knew that we were special. We all knew that. Aisha may have been his favorite, but we all knew that we were loved and we were special in our way too. That's how the man should be. If you're going to do polygamy, each one of those wives should feel special and feel loved without you having to even name a favorite. Okay? So, jealousy. Managing jealousy is a challenge in any relationship, especially a polygamous relationship, but it can be managed. But you have to be a wise man to do it. You have to be a secure man to do it. And you have to be a man that can read your women, a man that knows each and every one of your wives. Okay? Because jealousy comes as a result of insecurity. Jealousy arises as a result of fear of inadequacy. You don't want your wives feeling inadequate. You don't want your wives feeling that they're being compared to another. So you have to make each one of your wives feel confident and secure in her relationship with you. And you do it by following the example of the Prophet Muhammad like he did. You play on that uniqueness. That's her. Because no two women are alike anyway. If you had 100 wives, none of them would be the same. We're all different. We all have our own personalities. Layla Nashiba. Layla Nashiba is strong. Layla Nashiba is outgoing. Layla Nashiba is intelligent. Layla Nashiba is also sensitive. Layla Nashiba is also compassionate. Okay? That wife over there, she might be shy. She might be quiet. Intelligent. Okay? We're all different. There's going to be a time in your life when you need that intelligent, loud, outspoken wife. Then there's going to be a time where you need the soft, quiet one. The prophet used all his wives and when they were needed, and they knew when they were needed. Salama, the strategist. Aisha, the hope. Hafsa, the reminder. Maria the Copt, my enjoyment. SubhanAllah. Wow. What a man. You think about it, sisters, how many of us can find a man that knows us like that? The Prophet Muhammad knew his women. He knew all of their unique qualities. And he made each one feel like the world. Wow. What a man, what a man. I do gammy with him. I be number 2,000. So, the man has to, it's a hard job to be a man doing polygamy. You got to know your women. And you got to make sure that when that jealousy arises, you should ask yourself, am I doing my job as a husband? What am I doing that's causing my wife to feel insecure? What am I doing to cause my wife to feel inadequate? What am I doing to make my wife feel that she has to compare herself to someone else? That's a reflection on you. Remember, the prophet also taught us that a woman is a reflection of her husband, of her man. So what are you doing as a man that's causing your wives to feel jealous? And also as women, we have to communicate. It's very important in any marriage that the lines of communication are there, but even more so in a polygamous marriage. You have to communicate openly with your husband about your emotions. Let him know, I'm feeling bad right now. I feel like you don't care about me. I don't like the fact that when you was giving a lecture the other day, you mentioned one of your wives' names, but you didn't mention me. Why did you feel the need to mention her and you didn't mention me? I'm just giving examples. These are some of the things I hear people say that sisters come to me with. I never experienced this stuff, but I've had sisters say, Sister Layla, this brother went to a conference. He mentioned one of his wives, but it wasn't me. Why does he always talk about her and not me? Why does he mention her kids and not my kids? Oh, you brothers, y'all got to be careful with that. Okay? Because you're going to make that other wife feel inadequate. You're going to make that other wife feel like she's not special. So you sisters have to communicate. Communicate your feelings with your husband. Let him know that you feel that you're not special, that you're not important. And it's the job of the husband to reassure you or reassure all his wives that they are valued, that they are loved, that they are special, and that he has to show understanding to them all. He has to validate them all and give them all that security. So as you guys can see, polygamy is nothing easy. That's why I tell you guys, when you go to Muslim countries like the Middle East, you don't see that many people that practice polygamy. It's not that many people that's got 2, 3, 4 wives, because I'm telling you, you got to be a certain type of dude. Also, by supporting your wives emotionally, this will help you to resolve any conflicts that you have within the family dynamic. Because remember, guys, the children are always watching. You don't want your children to grow up a product of bad polygamy. You have to give them that emotional support that they need to make them feel validated, to make them feel special, so as to reduce the anxiety within the household. And also, it's going to require you being more empathetic. And also, just say you're sorry. As a man, you have to, even if you feel that you didn't do anything wrong, tell the wives you're sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for having you feel this way. I love you. You're special. You're mine. You're my boo, whatever y'all say. Okay, so those are the things I wanted to go over today. And again, polygamy is a part of our religion. It's good and clean.